Boom. Hey everybody, I am Paul Cram. So I have kind of a big stack of books, big-ish, but I was reading these over the spring, summer, and I'm very proud of that fact. I'm assuming most of you that are watching this have probably been reading as well. So let's jump right in. I found online some of these Penguin Modern, really small little books, and what I like about these is that they fit in your pocket. The first one, actually, I read this right at the beginning of spring, but Martin Luther King Jr.'s Letter from a Birmingham Jail. If you have not read this, for some reason I did not read this when I was in high school, and I should have. It's beautiful. His writing is just stellar, and his notes on civil rights and stuff are just profound. This one, I actually wasn't sure who this was. I don't even know that I can say his name. Rizard Kapsinski? I don't know. But an advertisement for toothpaste. He is a fantastic writer. Oh my gosh. I was chuckling, and just his perspective and turns of phrase and how he uses words to color it and stuff. I actually picked up I picked up this one, and then I actually ordered the longer collection of his writing, which I haven't finished yet, but I did finish an advertisement for toothpaste. Such a good writer. And at some point I will learn how to say his name. This is Love Poems by Pablo Neruda. This particular book is interesting because on this side it is Spanish, which is how it was originally written, and then this is the English translation. But yeah, if you like poetry, I recommend it. It's very, very spicy. Love poetry out loud. I marked the ones that just struck me, but there are some in here that I'm just like, whoa, take me away, blow me away with either their creativity or humor or, you know, what have you. But I might have to do another video just talking about this one because there's so much to it. There's this author, Alan de Botton, and he has like this thing called The School of Life. And he has like essays, compilation type pieces. This one is How to Travel. Initially, the one that kind of got me introduced to some of his philosophically not challenging, I don't know, writing is called How to Find Love. Yeah, and these are easy-ish reads. They do make you think. My book club actually just finished this one last month. The Strange Career of Jim Crow by C. Van Woodward. He really does a good job of like mapping out the timeline, like, you know, when emancipation happened and there was a period that is called Reconstruction, and like it was people didn't really know, how does this all fit together, what does this look like, and he does a really good job of just showing the civil rights movement from the right after emancipation all the way up to, I think that this ends in the end of the 1960s, something like that. So they could, I know that this author has passed away, but they could potentially add to it at some point. Fantastic read. I wish that they would have, I wish I would have read this in high school just to kind of soak up some of that goodness. Make Your Bed by Admiral William H. McRaven. You know, this would be a really good graduation gift or for somebody that's going to college, something like that. You know, I love his take on life, and I love his take on grit. And just, this one is by Kathy Reinking, How to Book Acting Jobs 3.0. I would highly recommend it for anybody that is interested in getting started in acting. Outcomes Over Output. Really super fast read. He does a really good job of presenting the notion and the idea of outcomes over output as it relates to sort of the some of you might know the expression agility. It's kind of an approach to how to work with teams within a business. But I like his focus. I like his ideas. I like what he gets at. Stop focusing so much on the output, which would be like building a building a computer and being like, once you build it, you're done. It's like, no. What are we actually trying to accomplish? And it's like, are we trying to make it so people can shop online? Well, maybe they don't need a computer. Maybe, you know, he's looking more at the outcome that people are looking for as opposed to the output. Making meaning. At first I was like, what are they getting at? But literally they're talking about brands. It's very much a brand marketing sort of book, and it's good. I recommend it. It's slow going at first, but they really lay a foundation that then I just finished The Loop by Ben Oliver. This is a dystopian, you know, which a lot of young adult fiction is right now, very dystopian. I actually did read, and I don't have it because I gave it away, but I also read this summer the new Hunger Games book, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which I give a thumbs up as well. This one, though, excuse me, this one, I don't love the ending. And I don't know if I have enough time to sit and think about why. The last two, these are nonfiction books, and these have really been really good for me this summer and this year. And there's these, both of them deal with dying. First one was recommended to me by my dear friend, and it's written by a forensic pathologist. For those of you that don't know, a forensic pathologist is someone who, you know, after someone has died, they take the cadaver and they, you know, do a dissection, and they kind of try to figure out why the person died. So that's just an interesting perspective in and of itself for the book. This is by no means like a gory, gross kind of a thing as you would maybe think. This book, Final Gifts, by Maggie, is it Callanan? Callanan, yes, and Patricia Kelly. They both are hospice care nurses. It's from the perspective of leading up to death. And I have to say, man, it really hits you in the most beautiful way, or at least it did for me. Just the perspective that they bring to the job that they're doing. You know, there's nurses that do labor and delivery, and how they are bringing life into the world and making that as easy and painless as possible. And their view is that they're doing that at the end of life. They're trying to make that transition to whatever that is, as easy and as painless and as possible. And the way that they approach it, you know, they talk about kind of the steps that a person goes through as they're nearing death, and the different stages of what somebody might be typically dealing with, you know, denial, acceptance, all those, almost like similar to the stages of grief. She's fairly blunt. She's like, here's what happens when somebody dies, like literally to their body. Like, a lot of times, here's what goes on with their breathing. Here's what, you know, will start happening with their body. Like, it's interesting and good information to have if you, I think it's good information in general, but especially if anybody that's watching this, if you are ever, you know, have a parent or somebody that is nearing death. And I guess knowing some of these things about the physicality of dying is really, I don't know, it's helpful. It's helpful for me. There's so much that we don't know about, like the afterlife and heaven and what that concept, and, you know, and it's really interesting just to hear what people that are dying are experiencing, and to know often it definitely points to something more. If you can't tell, I really enjoyed the book, and I recommend it. If you have a book recommendation, let me know. Jot it in the comments, or however you want to do that. IamPaulCram.com is the best way to kind of find out a little bit more about me. I hope that everyone is as safe and happy and healthy as they possibly can be. All right. See ya.